Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music. I'm going to talk about how you can play a song called Woman by the Beatles. And we end up capoing this on first fret at the beginning and actually kind of moving it to capo second later on in the tune. But we'll walk through a couple things in root position. We're going to kind of start off with kind of that intro lick actually, and you can kind of hear that third fret on the high E string. And then we go to second fret on the high E string. And then there's this cool little lick where you could play open B, and then third fret on the B, and then open E, and then second fret on the high E. So you got kind of that 3 3 3 2 2 2 0 3 0 2 2 2, or kind of a G F sharp B D E F sharp. It's kind of that lead off lick. And the chords that would back that lick up would start on a D major chord. When we play D major, first finger goes to the G on the second fret, second finger on the high E second fret, and third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now, around the D in general, though, it can be kind of cool to kind of take the pinky and add it in on the high E on the third fret. That's called a D suspended chord, and that could be a cool way to kind of kick off the tune. Is kind of thinking D sus to the D major, but randomly you could also kind of on D chords in general lift off the second finger and make that a D suspended second, kind of like the second half of that lick almost. And going back to the second fret on the high would give you the D. So you can kind of say some things around D's in general too. And then the chord that would kind of back that up from the D would be a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to A on the second fret, the second finger on the low E string third fret, and third finger on the high E string third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about putting the third finger on the B string third, pinky on the high E third, and kind of working that for your G major through the tune. And it's almost like we half the G with another D on the intro. And you could kind of work this as kind of a down idea, kind of a D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, G, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm kind of splitting the G and D. You can kind of dig on that. Or you can kind of work downs to kind of follow that lick. So you want to play around with that too if you want to kind of bring out that lick. Because even just working down strokes is kind of a cool idea for that. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the D and tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. So you could kind of work it that way in the G and the D half. And you could do that as kind of a down, down, up on each of those chords if you dig on that. Or you could split the pattern and make it a G with a down, down, D on the up, down. It can be very cool too. So through the intro that way you'd have the D, down, up, down, up, G, D, D, G, D. Or a cool variation of that, if you might want to play around with, is kind of a down, up, 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 down, up. And you could kind of half the G and the D with that by doing the G with the down, up, down, and then going to the D for the up, down, up. So you have D, G, down, up, D on the up, down, up, D, down, up, G, up, down, D on the up, down, up. Or another strum pattern that I would really lean to, especially later on in the chorus, is something called a 16th note strum pattern. Actually, there's a couple different patterns you may want to play around with. What I think can be a lot of fun, or one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns, is kind of a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into two parts with our down, down, up, down, up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I mean by down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, is if you take the D and do a down for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, 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 down. half that G and D. And you could do it with just kind of a down, down, down up on each of those chords. Kind of a down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Or if you want to, you can kind of split the pattern and do the G with kind of the down, 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 up, and then go to the D for the up, down, down, down. So try it that way. You'd have D, G, down, 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 up, D, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, down, G, down, 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 up, D, up, down, 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 up. Or another strum pattern that can be very, very cool is a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, the 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is on the first beat, you do a down on 1 and an up on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then on the second beat, you do a up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down. And then on the third beat, you do a up on 2, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up. Down, up on the last beat, kind of down, up, down, 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 down. So all together, you got down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down. What can be very cool is on that G and D, doing the G for the down, up, and then going to the D for the down, up, down, up, down. So we tried it that way. You'd have D. Or even mixing it up between those strum patterns can be kind of cool, or find a way that works for you and kind of run with it. And then from that intro, then we'll be going into our verse progression. And our verse starts on D major, but then from the D we go to an E minor chord. We play E minor. First finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about putting the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working that as kind of an E minor 7 idea for your E minor. And then from the E minor, we'll be going to an F sharp minor. Now, there's a couple different options here. But normally you do this as a 2nd fret bar, 3rd finger on the A string 4th fret, pinky on the D string 4th fret. Kind of work that for your F sharp minor. Or you could kind of lift off the pinky and kind of work that for your F sharp minor. Or if you're new to bars, you can make this a smaller bar by doing the top 2 strings, or the top 3 strings, or the top 4 strings. And I say top meaning higher pitched. So kind of the D, G, B, and E would be kind of a cool substitute for the F sharp minor. And then from there we go into our E minor, and then we go back to D, and then we go to a B minor chord. And when you play B minor, first finger goes across the entire 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D string 4th fret, and the pinky on the G string 4th fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now, it's also possible to kind of lift off the pinky there and make that a B minor 7. If you kind of dig on that, it's a little bit jazzier sound. Or another way to play B minor 7 is to do 1st finger on the A string 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd. Kind of work that for your B minor. Or if you're digging on the E minor 7 voicing, actually, you could kind of do 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. Kind of work that for your B minor. And if you kind of dig on that voicing, for the F sharp minor, you may even want to think about using a D sus / F sharp, where you do 1st finger on the low E 2nd, and 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. Could kind of substitute in for the F sharp minor. So if that's a little bit easier for you to get to the E minor, you could use that D sus / F sharp for the F sharp minor, and then back to E minor. That might make that a little bit easier, especially if you're just starting out. And then from the B minor, we go to an E minor chord. But then we go to this really, really cool hit, and you could just think about this as A major. And the way you play A major, 1st finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B string 2nd, kind of big party on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord. It sounds really happy. Now around A's in general, though, it can be kind of cool to lift off the 3rd finger and make that an A suspended 2nd. Or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd, kind of work that as an A sus. And what it really kind of sounds like in the recording, it's almost kind of like a 2-hit on A sus to the A major from the E minor chord. Or another option would be to do an A7 chord, where you do first finger on the D second, second finger on the G or B second, and kind of work the A7 for your A chord. Or you could even kind of work the A sus, actually kind of the yesterday A suspended chord, or A7 sus, where you do first finger on the D second, third finger on the B third, and kind of work that as an A suspended chord resolved into an A7 chord. So kind of cool, A7 sus to A7. Or if you're digging on the other voicings, you could use an A7 sus a different way, where you do first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. Kind of work that for your A suspended chord, or even your A chord if you kind of dig on that. And then from there, then we go back to a G major chord, and then an E minor chord, and then an F sharp minor chord. And then on that very first verse, we kind of end up with another one of those A sus A hits. If you want to think about it that way, or you could even just kind of think about it as an A chord if that's easier. Now we could apply any of those strum patterns we were just talking about, actually. And a lot of these chords, actually all these chords, kind of have the strum pattern in some way. So on the D, for instance, if you're going to do downs, you may want to think kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4 on each of those chords. The only really weird part would be where you've got the A sus to A hits, you kind of think 2 on each one. So you have kind of a D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, B minor, E minor, A sus, A, G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus, A on that first verse. Or if you're digging on the down, down, up, down, you could kind of half that on each of those chords. So you have kind of the D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, B minor, E minor, and then on the A sus you may want to just do downs, G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus, A, to kind of get in those hits. Or if you're digging on the 16th pattern, you can kind of work just the down, down, down up on each chord, and I think that kind of matches the tune pretty well. It's kind of that D, down, down, E minor, down, down, F sharp minor, E minor, D, B minor, E minor. And on the A sus A, you may want to do kind of a down, down, up, down, down on those hits. Actually, I was kind of digging on that E minor, down, down, up, A sus, A, G, down, down, up, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus, A. Kind of dig on that. And then from there, then we'll be going into our second verse, which is kind of an elaboration on our first verse. And instead of doing the A sus A hits at the very end, we actually end up using our whole strum pattern on those last chords. So at the very end, you'd have kind of the A sus with a down, down, up, down, up, and then the A with the down, down, up, down, up. Or if you're digging on the 16th pattern, you can mix it up with either one of those patterns. A sus, A. It's kind of that build up on the second verse to lead us into our chorus part. And our chorus starts on the D major, but if you want to make it a little bit jazzier, it can be kind of cool to use a D major 7, where you can kind of take your first finger and kind of bar over the G, B, and E strings, and kind of work that as kind of your D major for the chorus. Just kind of digging on that. And then from the D major, we go to B minor, and then we go to an E minor chord, and then we go to an A major chord. And we get to do our whole strum pattern on all those chords. So you can kind of work it as kind of an 8 down count on each of those chords. E, B minor, E minor, kind of digging on the downs. Or you can do the down, down, up, down, up, and have D, E minor, E minor, A. Or if you're digging on the 16th, you can either use either one of those 16th patterns all the way through. Actually through that chorus part too, and if you wanted to kind of follow it almost starts off with a little broken D chord where you could take the D and kind of go D string, G string, B string, and then high E string, and then we could kind of lift off 2 for an open E, 3rd fret on the B, open B, and then 2nd fret on the G. So it's kind of this little arpeggio around the D chord, kind of D, A, D, F sharp, E, D, B, A. From from there, for the B minor chord, you can play second on the A, open B, third fret on the B, second fret on the high E, open E, third fret on the B, open B, and then second fret on the G, and then we can play open E, open G, open B, open E, third fret on the B, open B, open G, and then second fret on the D is kind of around the E minor chord. And then from there, there's this cool little lick around the A where you play open A, 2 on the G, 2 on the B, open E, third fret on the B, second on the B, open B, and then 2 on the G. So if you kind of dig on those licks, you may want to try and follow those. Kind of that 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0, 2. It'd be kind of a cool line to follow. Now the weird part is, to play along with the Beatles, instead of starting on a D major chord, they're starting on an E flat major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and you put the capo on first fret, then now your D is really an E flat major, and your G major is really an A flat major, and your E minor is really an F minor chord, and your F sharp minor is really a G minor chord, and your B minor is really a C minor chord, and the A major is really a B flat major chord. But to take it from the very beginning, actually, you could kind of start off with kind of that intro lick. You could kind of work that with downs if you were kind of digging on that, or you could try the strum patterns and kind of D, down, up, G, down, up, D, down, up, or you could half the strum. G, down, down, up, down, up. Or you could use that variation we were talking about, kind of that down, G, up, down, D, up, down, D, down, G, down, D, down, up. Or you could use with the down, 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 up, down, 16th instrument. You have a D, G, down, down, D, G, D. Or you can kind of hit that D a little early there. Or you can use the down, up, down, up, down, up, 16th instrument pattern. I have the D, G, and kind of get those lick notes around it using that strum pattern, which can be kind of cool too. Or adjust it where you need to. So I was kind of digging on that. Now something else you may want to think about adding though to that intro though is bass notes. And a lot of times on that very first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the D you'd have the D for the bass. On the G, you'd have low E for the bass. On the E minor, you'd have low E for the bass. On the F sharp minor, you'd have the low E for the bass. And on the B minor, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the A major, you'd have the A for the bass. So you can kind of take the down, down, up, and work it as a bass down, up, down, up. And then you have the D, G, bass, down, up, D, D to the B bass, down, up, down, to low E bass, D to the D bass. Or you can kind of work that variation, kind of that bass up, down, bass up, down, up, down. To kind of add basses to that. So D, G, D, G, D. Or you can add basses to the 16th pattern. You can make it kind of a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, or bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Can all be cool variations. So we try adding basses to our intro that way. You'd have the D, G, D, D, G, D. So we'll play around with basses too. And then from there, we'll be going into our verse part. And you can work that any of those ways actually, kind of working the down strokes. F sharp minor, E minor, kind of working those downs. E, B minor, E minor, A sus, A, G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus, A. you're digging on the basses, you could kind of work it as a bass down up on a lot of those chords. And for the A sus A hit, you may want to still kind of keep that as the downs. So you have kind of the D down, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, E minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. Kind of working it that way. Or if you're kind of digging on the 16th pattern, you could kind of work it as a bass down, down, up. If we tried that through that first verse, you have the D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, E minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. And then from there, we'll be going into our second verse. So if we tried that with kind of the bass down, up, and kind of that variation, you'd have the D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, B minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. Or if you're digging on the 16th idea, you'd have the D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, E minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. So lead us into our chorus part, and you can kind of work that any of those ways too. So we try it with a bass down, up, down, up. You'd have the D, E minor, the A bass, E minor, the Louis bass, A with an A bass. Or you can try with the 16th, D, E minor, E minor, A. Or you can try with the other 16th, D, E minor, E minor, or if you wanted to kind of follow those licks, you may want to jump into that 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0, 2. Kind of working that D idea, the B minor idea, E minor idea, and then the A idea. So that might be cool lick to kind of follow there too. And then from that first chorus, then we'll be going back into our first verse form. So we'd have a D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, E minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. And then from there, then we go into our second verse form. So we've got D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, E minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. From there, then we're going into our second chorus. So we end with D, E minor, E minor, A, D, E minor, E minor, A. And then from there, then we change keys, and all of a sudden we go from the key of E flat major to the key of E major. So right after that chorus, you may want to take your capo, and if you slide it over one fret, and actually if you got one of those little elastic capos, you can kind of thumb it into the next one, which can always be a cool trick. And then from there, then we'll be going into kind of our verse form, or our second verse form. So we have kind of the D, E minor, F sharp minor, E minor, D, E minor, E minor, A sus A G, E minor, F sharp minor, A sus A. And then from there, then we'll be going into our chorus form as kind of our fade at the end. But I think I play a big D and make people clap. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Woman by the Beatles. So good luck!